His world was one of glass and steel, echoing with the tap-tap-tap of keyboard strokes and hushed phone calls. The city skyline stretched endlessly beyond his window, a constant reminder of ambition and progress. Every day, he moved through a landscape of polished surfaces and fluorescent lights, where every minute was accounted for and every conversation had a purpose. Her world was in the soft, warm scents of lavender cleaner, the gentle rhythm of wiping down counters and folding linens. She found comfort in the familiar routine, the small acts of care that made a house feel like a home. The quiet hum of the refrigerator was her constant companion, a subtle soundtrack to her daily work, blending with the distant sounds of the city outside. He was all sharp angles, tailored suits, and a perpetual frown line etched between his brows. His presence commanded attention, and his words carried weight in every meeting. She was quiet movements, faded cotton dresses, and eyes that held the wisdom of a life well lived. Her footsteps barely made a sound, yet her presence brought a gentle order to the chaos around her. He barely knew she existed, lost in his own world of deadlines and decisions, rarely noticing the hands that kept his environment running smoothly. His days were filled with spreadsheets and meetings, endless streams of data and discussions that shaped the course of his company. Hers with polishing silver, fluffing pillows, and making sure every detail was just right, her care woven into the fabric of daily life. He ate meals prepared by a private chef, his plate whisked away the moment he pushed it aside, never pausing to wonder who made it all possible. She ate alone in the quiet of the kitchen, savoring every bite of her simple lunch, grateful for the small moments of peace in her busy day. Their lives were a study in contrasts, two parallel lines destined never to meet, or so it seemed. Yet beneath the surface, their worlds were more connected than either of them realized, each shaping the other in ways both subtle and profound. He was frantic. The clock on the wall seemed to tick louder with every passing second, echoing the urgency in his chest. A crucial presentation, the one that could make or break his company, loomed just minutes away, and the key data file was missing. Panic clawed at his thoughts as he rifled through drawers and folders, desperate for a solution. He tore through his office, papers flying in every direction, his calm facade crumbling with each frantic movement. The room, once orderly, now mirrored the chaos inside him. She stood silently in the doorway, watching him with a quiet patience, her presence almost invisible amid the storm of his anxiety. He didn't even notice her, not really. His world had narrowed to the desperate search, blind to everything else. Then with a quiet murmur she pointed to a stack of papers he had overlooked, her gesture gentle and unassuming, as if she didn't want to intrude. Relief washed over him as he saw the familiar folder peeking out from beneath the pile. The tension in his shoulders eased, and for a moment the world seemed to slow. He looked up at her, truly saw her for the first time, as if a veil had lifted from his eyes. Her eyes, the color of warm honey, held a quiet understanding, a silent reassurance that everything would be all right. He mumbled a thank you, his heart still racing, gratitude mingling with embarrassment at his earlier panic. She smiled, a fleeting, hesitant thing, and went back to her work, her kindness lingering in the air long after she'd gone. He couldn't shake the feeling that something had shifted, a tiny crack in the wall he had built around himself. A moment of connection that would stay with him quietly, for a long time. He started noticing her, the way she left a single sunflower on his desk every Monday, its bright face mirroring the sun streaming through the windows, the way his morning coffee was always the perfect temperature, the steam curling invitingly from the mug, the way the scent of lemon oil lingered in his study after she cleaned, a fresh, clean aroma that chased away the stale scent of stress. He found himself anticipating these small acts of kindness, his day a little brighter for them. He would catch himself watching her, admiring the way she moved with such quiet grace, her hands working with practiced efficiency. He would leave her notes of thanks, his handwriting stiff at first, then gradually becoming more relaxed, more personal. One evening, as dusk settled over the city, he found himself drawn to the balcony of his penthouse apartment, seeking a moment of quiet away from the constant noise of his life. The city glittered below, a million tiny lights flickering like distant stars, each one a story unfolding in the night. Yet, as he gazed out, all he could feel was his own loneliness reflected back at him. His carefully constructed world, filled with success and luxury, suddenly felt hollow. The victory he had achieved that day, something he had worked so hard for, now seemed strangely meaningless without someone to share it with. He hadn't even called anyone to share the news, the silence on the other end of the phone feeling heavier than ever. The realization stung. He was truly alone in this moment. Lost in his thoughts, he suddenly sensed a gentle presence beside him, breaking the solitude without a word. She stood silently, just, a comforting presence. There was no need for conversation. Her quiet companionship spoke volumes. He didn't try to speak, didn't need to. The silence between them was gentle, not awkward, and it felt like a balm to his restless mind. She offered him a cup of chamomile tea, her hand brushing his in a small, reassuring gesture. The simple act felt deeply meaningful. He took it, the warmth spreading through him, not just from the tea, but from the quiet understanding they shared in that moment. They stood together, united in the silence, the weight of their unspoken emotions hanging heavy in the air, yet somehow making the night feel less lonely. It was the first time he felt truly seen, truly understood in a very long time. In that shared solitude, he found a quiet sense of belonging.